Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. I have had a lot of people ask me what it is like to cruise with the MedallionClass app and the Medallion right now. So if you're new around here, welcome, we're happy to have you. We just got off the Majestic Princess. We went to Alaska round trip out of Seattle, August 15th through the 22nd. So first of all, for embarkation, make sure that you know what your cabin number is. And let me tell you why. So first of all, the morning before we left our hotel, both my husband and I had looked on our phone at the app, and we were green lane and everything was ready to go. As we arrived at the port and we're ready to go into the building for embarkation, we both opened our phones and the app would just swirl. It took forever to open, and when it finally opened, it had logged us out. So there's two ways that you can log back in at that point. You can either do it with your regular Princess login and password, or you can do it with your booking number. So it would not accept our regular Princess login information, that you know how you store it in your phone, and it usually would work, but this time it wouldn't. It just wouldn't let you in, and so we did log in with our booking number. But we noticed that then if we closed our phone and opened it again, that it had logged us out of the app again. And so a worker there said, it's okay, just have your cabin number and they will be able to find you in the system. And so that's what we did. And lots of people around us were having that same problem. And so I think it's just because so many people were trying to use the app at the same time that the servers for Princess just got bogged down. And I am pretty sure that they're working on it. And I know that a crew member mentioned that they are working hard on the app. And so that's good. But anyway, so once you get up, you should probably watch our embarkation day video if you haven't. But as you arrive at the terminal, everyone has to get in the same line regardless of status. So you get in this line and it really does move very quickly. But when it's your turn, you just tell them your cabin number and they are able to look into the system and see where you were in the app, like if you were green lane or blue lane or what. And so since they were able to see we were green lane, they just pointed us off and we were able to be on the green lane even though we couldn't bring up our app. And that is the same place where you show your proof of vaccination and your negative COVID test and your ID. And so I just wanted to let you know what your cabin number is, so that if that's not opening good, it's still really simple. Now, if you have not been able to get to the point that you are green lane in the app yet, I do have a video about how to do that. And so I will link it below so that you can watch that. And then if you still aren't able to do that, don't you worry one little bit. It's okay. I noticed that people that were not green laned, after they went through security, they just pointed them over to the other line. And all it is remember how we used to always check in every time? You would go and there's just like that long line with all the little windows with all of the Princess workers, and they would just check you in really fast. That's what they have. And so it works really quickly. The line moves smoothly. And so you just go through that. It's not a problem and it's not hard. You can still get on. And so once you do that, then you just go get in the line right before the gangway and they swipe your medallion. And so that is the first time that you use your medallion. And so just have it on when you, like we put ours on as we were getting there. I guess we could have put them on as we were leaving the hotel, but just make sure you have them on then, because then you're not digging around in your bag for it. And then after that, you just get on the ship. The only other time that it might be convenient to have your app is you can watch your muster drill video either on your device in the app, or you can watch it on your stateroom TV. When you turn on your stateroom TV for the first time, it is the first thing that's there. So if you watch it, the system records that you've watched it and you're good. In the app, it tells you where your muster station is, and on the back of your stateroom door, it's printed there what your muster station is. And so if you don't want to use your app, it's okay. Just look at the back of your stateroom door, and then also you can see what your muster station is in those portals that they have next to the elevators. And I also did a video about how to use those, and so I'll put that below as well. But the bottom line is if you don't want to use the app, you really don't have to use the app. You can have a lovely cruise experience without it. You don't miss out on anything. And so in the long run, I think it's probably a really good idea to go ahead and try to use it some, just so that you're a little bit familiar with it, because down the road, Princess, I'm thinking, is really going to develop it into something that works, you know, much more smoothly without so many glitches, and is actually more useful on board. And so if you want to use the MedallionClass app while you're on board, but you don't want to risk having any of those roaming charges on your phone, just put your phone in airplane mode, and then you know how you just go in your settings and you click Wi-Fi, click on that and then select the Medallion Net Wi-Fi. And then once you do that, it'll bring up and it will offer you to just connect to the Medallion Net for free. And at that point, you're just using the ship's intranet, basically their network, to be able to use the app, and that works perfectly fine. If you have paid for the internet package, or you want to pay for the internet package, you can click on that one and do that. Just a heads up, I know people get the internet packages for a lot of different things, and we had paid for it thinking that we would maybe be able to upload videos as we went, but the first sea day, the internet was great, and that's why we were able to upload our Embarkation Day video. But once we got further north and actually to Alaska, the internet was just too slow for that. You could use it to message people, like an iMessage on your iPhone, or to look at some thing, you know, use it a little bit, but it really slowed down. And so, but it was still okay, but just be aware that it'll be much slower. And so that works really good if you want to go ahead and try to use it. The main things that we used it for when we were on the ship is, before we went, I had booked a couple of dinner reservations, and I also have a video about how to do that, and I'll link that below if you'd like to do that. And so I had changed a couple because our schedule changed a little bit, but we used it for that, and then also to look at the onboard, our onboard account for the shipboard account, to make sure that the charges were all correct. But other than that, we didn't really use it. It was great that they handed out the patters, and also, there's the thing that I didn't know before we got on board the ship, is that, you know, when you're using the app and you make a reservation to attend an event, it's really not a reservation in the way that we think of reservations. No one checks you off when you come to that event. Nobody calls you if you're not at the event or anything. It's just a way, one of the officers said, of making sure that you express kind of interest so they know if people are interested in it or not. So if you look at something and there are no more spaces left, or you don't want to make a reservation, just go ahead and go to that event if you want. If it's something that you know has really limited seating, like in the Princess Live Theater, that, you know, it's not big like the Princess Theater is, then go a little bit early, you know, a few minutes, so that you're sure to get a spot. But don't be thinking that anybody, and if you like make a reservation and you don't show up, nobody cares. So don't worry about it. And so those are the main things that we use the app for. And so just be aware that if you don't really want to use it, don't. And don't be stressed out about it. Okay, just go have a nice cruise. And then as far as the Medallion goes, the little actual device that you use, as you saw on our videos, we just decided to leave them in the lanyards that come with it. And that worked out really nice for us. They do sell things that you can put on a necklace, or you can put it on a little wristband thing, or a little clip to clip it on you. But I just really liked the flexibility of having it on a lanyard, and I don't really think it looks like jewelry, so I didn't want to use it as jewelry. And so I want you to know that it works just fine if you put it in your evening bag, or if you put it in your pocket, or any other bag you have. It works just fine. It doesn't have to be out in the open. And so be aware of that. And a thing that I thought that was really kind of handy about the Medallion is that, like, if you walk up to like the bar or anywhere, like if you have a drink package and you want to get a drink, they can see on their screen behind the counter who you are and what package you have. And so if you walk up and you say, I want, I want a Diet Coke, because that's what I like, it showed right up. So they didn't have to have me scan my medallion or ask me about my package. And they can also see it in the dining room. And so if you go to the main dining room and you want to order a drink with dinner and it's covered in your package, the waiter can see that. He doesn't have to ask for your medallion or anything. And so I thought that was a really handy thing. So the other thing I wanted to let you know about is it does unlock your cabin door and locks it. And so we played around with it, and it turns out that it unlocks your door when you're about 6 feet away from the door. And so you don't have to worry about it unlocking it when you're clear down the hall, or locking it after you've gone around the corner and someone can sneak in your room or anything like that. It's very close proximity, actually. And so don't be worried about that. It just turns out that it's really handy that it unlocks it for you. So you can also see how that works in my embarkation day video, and I'll have that linked below too. So you'll also use your medallion when you want to buy something on the ship, whether it's a drink that's not in your drink package, or if you're in the gift shop or any of the princess shops and you want to buy something. But I want you to know that it can't accidentally charge you for something. They actually have a little square thing that you have to actually set your medallion on when they tell you to in order to charge you. And so it can't do it because you were just standing close by there or anything. It's very intentional. You have to touch it to it when they tell you to. And so don't be worried about that. And it's actually just really very convenient because you don't have to carry. Well, we used to carry the cruise card, but now we have the medallion, and so that works really nicely. So don't worry about that. And then the last thing that I think it's really handy for is it makes it really easy to find anyone that you're traveling with. And so a couple of times my husband and I went to different things, and so if I wanted to figure out where he was, you can see that in your app, but I just use those portals that they have by the elevators and in a few other places on the ship. And you can see my video about that, and it's really easy to see where your traveling companions are. And so I thought that was very handy, because sometimes you say, I'll meet you at the room, but one of you is taking like an hour and a half longer than the other. So it just works out really nice. So that's it. So I just wanted to let you know that you can go on the cruise and enjoy yourself and not be stressed out. Don't worry about the MedallionClass app if it's not your thing. I know that Princess is working on it. It was not as useful as I thought it would be, because when you watch those MedallionClass Monday videos that Princess has on YouTube, they talk about ordering food from anywhere you want and drinks, but that is actually very limited, and it's just not quite as slick as I expected. And so don't be stressed about it. Just go have a nice vacation, and certainly don't cancel your cruise because of it. If you want to act like the MedallionClass app doesn't exist, you can do that, okay? And so you have a wonderful cruise. If you have appreciated this video, will you please consider subscribing to our channel and give this video a thumbs up if it's been helpful at all? I sure do appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for watching. I will be talking to you again soon. Until then, you take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.